Hi and welcome back. Our next presentation is with Stockwik, presented by CEO David Andreasson. Myself, my name is Mark Bacco, and I'm an equity research analyst here with ABG within industrials. And with that said, David, please go ahead with the presentation.
Yes, thank you very much, Max, and thanks everyone for watching this. I'm David Andreasson, CEO and co-founder of Stockwik since the inception 2013. And I think so far we have been on a great journey, making 18 acquisitions, and we are looking forward to making further acquisitions, of course, going forward. To start with, I would like to touch upon the second quarter report, which I believe could have been better. And everyone who has been monitoring us for a while, I'm sure will agree. The main reason for the disappointment was within the property services segment, and in particular our actually first acquisition we made in Bergfast, which has been an absolute gem of an acquisition for many years. But lately they got stuck in some projects too, where they were hampered by additional costs due to further material needing to be delivered and more work needing to be done than originally calculated. We have done what we can to strengthen this part of the business within Bergfast, and we have been actually for a while looking for an employee that can strengthen Bergfast within, in particular, the calculating part of the projects. And we are looking forward to coming back with business as usual in Bergfast and their landscaping business going forward. So that is the main explanation of a sort of slightly softer earnings than we had been looking forward to. Also, we have also changed part of the accounting within Galdax, which is the largest company within our industry segment. And Galdax, as you may recall, is our rethreading tire business. And they also buy a lot of tires to distribute to our tire workshops. And typically the margin assumption for these tires have been a bit too high in the first half of the year. So due to that, we have looked over that together with our accounting business and made an adjustment for that, which should even out the earnings over the year for this business. So with that said, we come to the conclusion that in that sense, earnings could have been a bit better during the first half of the year, and not least in relation to what I believe investors and the market seem to have been expecting. Otherwise, Stockwik is on track as a fast-growing, non-cyclical business with great opportunities to grow with further acquisitions going forward. I would like to stress the focus we have when it comes to the kind of businesses we target. It's non-cyclical businesses, and that makes Stockwik actually sort of a counter-cyclical animal, so to speak, that our opportunities to grow is actually a bit better in slightly weaker economic conditions, and we should provide a very stable earnings development and what happened in the first half of this year is not related to any cycle, but more to specific projects and things in our business. So we always target companies that we believe are non-cyclical in their nature. So we are building up a portfolio consisting of very stable, every company in their own right, businesses, and that's our main focus. And we believe that Stockwik will always be an enticing proposition in that sense, that we are growing through very stable companies and that we have great opportunities to grow going forward. If we move forward to slide number 3, I'm afraid I actually can't see the slides, but I recall that we have at least a few words on Richard, which has joined us recently, earlier this year. And Richard has been actually head of equity research for Nordea in Sweden and has a great background for his role as a COO coming into Stockwik. So we are very glad to see Richard join us, and this will definitely strengthen up our team in the sense that he will focus on the organizational development and has already implemented a few follow-up models for all our subsidiaries, which will improve the monitoring of these companies going forward. And we're also growing fast enough not to have included our latest colleague Johan Faglund, who joined us actually yesterday, coming in from Betsson. Johan has also a very an excellent background as a corporate lawyer at Betsson, and he will have the same role here at Stockwik. And Johan will of course help us to improve and speed up our due diligence process. To date, Andreas and I have done a lot of this work ourselves, and we have come to the conclusion that we are the bottleneck in this organization, although I think we can say that we've done a good job during the first 7 years. But now with Richard and Johan joining us, we definitely have strengthened our management team and can improve both the companies we already have within our group and also the processes for going forward and growing with further acquisitions ahead. If we move forward to the next slide, slide number 4, we can conclude that although we have spotted some room for improvement to date, we can say that the overall improvement is stable. And we are working very hard to make this year, 2021, Stockwik's best year ever. We have actually already completed 5 acquisitions. And we can move to the next slide. And these acquisitions are Kålarviks, Sokab and Svärd, which we already have touched upon during the last investor presentation we made together with ABG, which was in March. And since then we have made an additional 2, which are Mittex and Ela Health. And to say a few words about Mittex, this is really a beautiful little industry company which we are very glad to have acquired. Mittex makes what is called the Mittex bar, which is an application for heavy-duty vehicles and agricultural equipment. They make an aluminum bar which is model specific to fit on construction machinery or agricultural machinery for their hoods or counterweights on excavators and on top of the roofs. And these aluminum pipes are model specific, and they are used for an easy and neat installation of position lights, flashlights, and work lights. And I would like to say that they are best in class when it comes to producing this additional equipment for this kind of machinery. And I remember actually Warren Buffett saying one thing about companies: if you make your customers delighted, you're on the way to success. And I would definitely say that Mitteks, they are really making their customers delighted, and they are more actually surrounded by fans more rather than just customers. And even though they mainly target Sweden as their market, the word has started to spread, and they have actually received orders from as far away as Australia, just because if you really want the best application for light installation on your vehicle, Mitteks is a great company to turn to. So we are very happy to having been joined by Mitteks this spring 2021. And we also quite recently completed the acquisition of Hela Healthcare, which you can see is an addition to our healthcare segment. And Hela is actually not that different from Team in the sense that it's a healthcare company which offers a very wide variety of services for patients. And although it's not that big company with about 20 employees, it's a really nice little quality company offering a very wide variety of services, and also very nicely geographically positioned in Norrtälje, just north of Stockholm, and Åkersberga, and also they also have a small office in Stockholm. So we believe that that also represents a company which is non-cyclical, and also contributes to the at least to some extent to some good in the society, which we want all our companies to do in some way. So of course we are looking forward to expanding the healthcare segment, because we believe that there can be some procurement synergies within or between companies in that segment. So all in all, we have 18 companies today, and this is how our group looks today. Quite well balanced, I would like to say, within the different segments. So let's move forward to slide number 6. And this slide speaks about how our business model works, at least in numbers. As you can see, we have been growing our company quite a bit, and we like to, of course, look at how the companies we are about to invest in have performed in 2007, 2008, how they fared during the last financial crisis. And of course, going forward, we will look how the companies have performed during the pandemic. We want to see that the companies have been stable even in trying times, and that has been a prerequisite for Stockwik to go through and follow through with an acquisition. So we have been growing quite a while, and we have been performing and are performing stable. And of course, we look forward to making further acquisitions going forward. And well, what about that outlook? If you look into the second quarter report, you can see that in our parent company we have about 150 million kronor, and in the group as a whole we have about 220 million kronor. So together with an additional possible tap issue of our bond of 75 million Swedish kronor and a positive cash flow, one could come to the conclusion, or if you make the maths, to about roughly 300 million Swedish kronor as an acquisition room, and that is of course excluding vendor notes and also the issue of further shares as part of the payment when making acquisitions. Anyhow, if we keep to the average multiple we have been buying companies at, one could see that we could buy further profits, additional profits of about maybe up to 60, maybe even more, 60 million Swedish kronor. So that is sort of the case when it comes to the share investment case of Stockwik, that we can, I wouldn't say easily, but we have at least the potential to lift our earnings above 100 million kronor, and of course that is what we are aiming to do. I won't give a specific deadline for when that is going to happen, but I would like to conclude that I believe that the outlook is good. The market for making deals is as it has used to have been, and I haven't seen any change with regards to the market. We have a good deal flow, and we are of course just doing what we have always been doing, trying to find the right companies with the right people, and making the deals at the right valuations. So that is what I had in mind to say today. So I would like to thank you for watching this presentation, and hand over to Max for any further questions.
Thank you very much, David, for the presentation. And to begin with, which you touched upon during the presentation, you have done 5 acquisitions year to date. Would you say that this is a reasonable level going forward as well, given that you find attractive acquisitions to reasonable prices?
Well, I would like to avoid to make any promise of how many acquisitions we will make during a single year, but let me give you some background. The fastest acquisition we made took 3 months to complete. The longest one took more than 1.5 years. So it's difficult to say when they materialize and can be announced as an acquisition that Stockwik has finalized. But we have been making at least a handful of acquisitions each year when we've had the means to complete acquisitions, and now we have brought in Johan and Richard, and the market or the acquisition climate is still very good, and I believe that we have a good outlook when it comes to making a few acquisitions each year.
Okay, and since your inception in 2013, have you seen any expansion in acquisition multiples?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Of course, that's. I know that there's been a sort of maybe investors worrying about more. There are a few companies that are slightly similar to Stockwik, and that may sort of drive up the prices. But I wouldn't say that we are experiencing that. And I also would like to stress the fact that we have actually made a handful of acquisitions out of these 18 acquisitions where we have had direct competition with not other listed companies, but industry consolidators. And these owners or sellers, they have actually actively chosen not to sell to them because they don't want to see their little baby, their company, becoming a part of such a large entity. They want it to live on, and they want to see that their personnel still have their jobs, and that's why they turn to Stockwik. So we have something unique to offer within the segment we are operating in. So no, I'm still confident that we will be able to make acquisitions at levels that are appealing.
Okay. And for the viewers that are new to the case, could you perhaps restate your acquisition criteria and refresh our memory?
Yes, absolutely. Stockwik is actually mainly founded on a philosophy of trying to do something good. And with that, we mean that we want to do something good for those who are selling the company, in the sense that we will continue to take care of the company in the same way that they have been managed during the ownership of the original founder or entrepreneur. So we are offering that opportunity for the seller to sort of both keep the cake and eat it. So the company can live on, and they can feel comfortable with that, and selling to Stockwik gives them that opportunity. And we also want to take care of the personnel in the sense that we like to see people grow, and there is often quite a lot of energy within these companies that we acquire, and people that want to maybe take a step forward and continue to grow within their organization, which is something we really appreciate. And we also have made Stockwik into a public company because we want to give the average investor the opportunity to invest in the best small companies, family businesses in Sweden via Stockwik. So when we do something good for the sellers of these companies, for the personnel, and for our shareholders, we do something good for ourselves. That's the philosophy Stockwik is based upon. And we invest in non-cyclical companies that have a proven track record of earnings. And by investing in a variety of different companies, we create a very, very stable portfolio, which we anticipate will live on for a very, very long time going forward. So that is sort of Stockwik in a nutshell.
Okay, perfect. I think that were some good concluding words for today. Thank you very much for joining us here today, David, and we look forward to see you the next time.
Thank you very much, Max. Have a great day, and thanks everyone for watching this.
You too. Bye.